QuadQuiz!
Brought to you by Math with Sir Lester. There are 3 questions for this video, and you are to answer them in 15 seconds each. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's consider this equation. What is the standard form of the given equation? Time is up. The answer is 2x squared plus x plus 5 equals 0. Next, is it a quadratic equation? Yes or no? The answer is yes. And for the third question, please give the correct coefficients of the equation in standard form. We have A is 2, B is 1, and C is 5. Did you get 3 over 3? If not, please continue viewing this video. The first question earlier for this quad quiz is for us to determine the standard form of this equation. The standard form allows us to move the terms on one side of the equation and retaining 0 on the other side. Here, we are going to remove the coefficients x and minus 5 to the left-hand side, leaving the right-hand side equal to 0. But before that, let us try to first compute this left-hand side so that there would be no more, or compute or simplify rather, so that there would be no more problems later. We're talking about distributing that here, and therefore we have 2x squared plus 2x times 1 is simply 2x is equal to the same x minus 5. Now, we move these two terms on the other side of the equation either using properties of equality or transposition method. We can do that. Either way, you will have 2x squared plus 2x. When we subtract both sides by x, you will have x. Add both sides by 5, you will have plus 5 is equal to 0. Now, we can simplify this, and then we have 2x squared. 2x minus x is 1x, so you will have plus x, and you have your plus 5 equal to 0. This is again the standard form of the given equation because one side is already 0. The other thing that we could learn from this is whether this is a quadratic equation or not. Looking at the presence of our second degree of x or x squared, and since the coefficient is not 0, this is a quadratic equation. So the answer earlier was yes. This could not be a quadratic equation if this is 0, canceling this one, and you will have another equation now. Now that you have your standard form, 2x squared plus x plus 5 equal to 0, it's now important for us to identify the correct coefficients. Identifying the correct coefficients will help us later as we look for the roots of this quadratic equation and for our quadratic functions with regards to the behavior of the graph and all other things necessary in understanding functions. The correct coefficients here are this. The coefficient for your x squared is your a coefficient, that's 2. Your b coefficient is the coefficient of your x term, which is, we know that already to be 1. And your c is your constant. Here, it's equal to 5. So these are now the correct coefficients of this given standard form. So before you can identify the correct coefficients, you need to determine first whether it's a quadratic or not. because you cannot give 3 coefficients like this if it's a non-quadratic. And you could only determine if it's a quadratic or not once you have your standard form. These are the discussion for the answers for this QuadQuiz. Subscribe now!